Hey guys, welcome to Pages with Sidra. Today we are going to start chapter 542 of I Have 90 Billion Licking Gold Coins. If you haven't watched the previous chapters, make sure to check them out on my channel. Now, without any delay, let's dive into the chapter. Not long after, Yao Qingtan sent over 2 short videos via Liu. Xiantian Yaozu, holding his brand new Pangas 6 smartphone, tapped the screen and played them. The total length, 20 minutes. He might not be familiar with short-form videos, but with his years of experience in the martial world, he could spot inconsistencies at a glance. The first video, there was no doubt. The person blown up by a rocket launcher over the Huangpu River was indeed Shi Yun. But one thing felt off. Why was the figure in the footage mosaicked? Why were those agents even chasing after Shi Yun? There had to be a reason, which raised a bigger question. Why was Shi Yun being hunted down? He was a personal disciple of Yaowang Valley and a master of disguise. Maybe the face under that mosaic wasn't his real one at all. Could it be he was disguised as Qin Yuan? And why would Shi Yun disguise himself as that bastard Qin Yuan in the first place? Did they have some kind of grudge? This whole thing isn't as simple as Qingtan thinks. The second video. This one hit Xiantian Yaozu like a thunderbolt. But what shocked him wasn't just the case of mistaken identity. It was something far more dangerous. In the video, Dongxin Yaozuan's strength was on full display, and it didn't lose out to his own. In fact, it might have even surpassed his peak. The camera could barely capture Dongshuan's figure. He was lightning fast, insanely powerful, and his footwork was so refined it was nearly undetectable. The man radiated the aura of a true powerhouse. Watching him slaughter those elite agents, it was like watching someone butcher pigs. But why does Dongxin Yaozuan's silhouette look so much like Qin Yuan's? That kick Qin Yuan landed on me during the ambush, the power, the speed. It was exactly the same as Dongxin Yaozuan's in this video. Disguise techniques aren't that rare. If Qin Yuan also mastered them, then he is Dongxin Yaozuan. That thought hit hard. Xiantian Yaozu sucked in a sharp breath of cold air. His whole body began to tremble. If everything up until now had just been a misunderstanding, then fine. Maybe that dog Qin Yuan just got lucky, and their Yaowang Valley was simply cursed with bad luck, becoming the scapegoat again and again. But what if none of this was a coincidence? What if someone had orchestrated this whole thing behind the scenes? What if everything, the agents, Yaowang Valley, all of it, was just chess pieces on someone's board? The more he thought about it, the more terrifying it became. How terrifying must someone be to manipulate the situation so perfectly? To pit 2 enemy forces against each other and watch from the shadows as they tore each other apart. That level of strategy, it was monstrous. These so-called clues, they were all carefully leaked to Qingtan by Qin Yuan. He's been slowly eroding her will. This is psychological warfare. He's too dangerous, far too dangerous. No, I can't let Qingtan stay by Qin Yuan's side any longer. The difference in their levels is like heaven and earth. I have to get her out of the Chun estate as soon as possible. Just as Xiantian Yaozu was still shaken from the revelation, another 2 messages arrived from Qingtan. Master Ancestor, you saw it right? Those agents who ambushed us, they weren't Qin Yuan's people at all. Uncle Beichen wasn't killed by him. And senior brother Shi Yun was also murdered by those special agents. I traced them. They're from an American organization called Skull Society. Even that super popular actress Nie Chiozi, she's actually an international assassin who was planted beside Qin Yuan. The true enemy we should be hunting is Skull Society. Reading those messages, Xiantian Yaozu almost spat blood in frustration. Qingtan, it's not as simple as you think. What you're seeing, all of it, is what Qin Yuan wants you to see. These videos, they're incomplete. The most important parts are missing. Meet me at the north gate of the Chun estate at midnight. I'll take you away myself. Do not disobey. When she read that message, Yao Qingtan froze. Clearly, Master Ancestor still held a deep grudge against Qin Yuan. But she could understand why. After all, Uncle Beichen did die within the Chun estate. As long as her ancestor promised not to harm Qin Yuan, she was willing to leave. Okay, she replied with just one word. Meanwhile, Qin Yuan, sitting in his private server room, was silently watching the entire exchange unfold. They had no idea that the man with access to high-level AI and elite hacking tools was killing time with something as perverse as eavesdropping on their every message. Well, this old fox is sharp. He instantly noticed the inconsistencies. Can't be fooled that easily, huh? So, you're planning to sneak Qingtan out of the estate between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. tonight? Dream on. This is a 300-point mission, plus a secret Yaowang Valley technique as a reward. I'm not letting this cooked duck fly off my plate. What if my target flees into the mountains and disappears forever? That'd make this entire performance a waste. And just like that, it was already 7 p.m. Qingtan, said the butler. Boss has a sudden errand to run. He wants you to go with him. Get ready now. Huh? But I'm already off duty. Boss personally requested you. Do you know how many people would kill for this opportunity? You should be honored. What's a little overtime? You won't lose a limb. Get moving. Fine. Qingdan figured it was just a quick trip. She'd be back before midnight for sure. By 7:30 p.m., she was in Chun Yuan's Rolls-Royce. 20 minutes later, the car arrived at Dun Tian International Airport. It wasn't until they stepped into the terminal that Qingdan felt something was off. Boss, where are we going exactly? Don't ask too much, Qin Yuan replied coolly. I have urgent business to handle. Starting now, I'm promoting you to my personal assistant. We're going to take care of something very important. What? But why didn't you tell me beforehand? Qingdan, you're out of line. This is company classified intel. You think I need to report my schedule to you in advance. But, no buts. I don't care if you have heaven-sent plans tonight. Drop them. Follow me. We're leaving now. Housekeeper Amy snapped coldly. Helpless, Yao Qingdan had no choice but to follow Qin Yuan onto his private luxury jet. And only then did she realize. The flight was actually flying to Shanghai. Miss, please switch off your phone now. A stewardess reminded her gently. Phones are not permitted during the flight. The phone was powered off. By the time the private jet touched down at Shanghai Airport it was already 10 p.m. Only then did Yao Qingdan finally turn her phone back on. And as soon as it powered up, a flood of messages from Xiantian Yaozu came pouring in one after another. Just as she turned her phone on, message after message from Xiantian Yaozu came flooding in. Qingdan, Qin Yuan has already left the villa. You can head to the north gate to meet me now. Qingdan, why aren't you answering your phone? Qingdan, are you in trouble? Respond as soon as you get this. Seeing those messages, Yao Qingdan quickly replied. Master Ancestor, something urgent came up with Qin Yuan. He took me with him. Then, can you still make it to the rendezvous point before midnight? Master Ancestor, Qin Yuan brought me to Shanghai. We're already here. As soon as she sent that message, Xiantian Yaozu was completely stunned. How had a few short hours passed, and this girl was already thousands of miles away? What the hell? This damn brat Qin Yuan is way too cunning. Why is everything happening so coincidentally? I was just about to take Qingdan out of the manor, and this guy suddenly brings her all the way to Modu. He gritted his teeth. No, I must rush to Shanghai immediately and get Qingdan away from that fox's grasp. Qin Yuan is too crafty, his words are manipulative, and Qingdan is far too naive. If she stays by his side any longer, she'll be completely deceived. But he couldn't just teleport there. The fastest way would be by plane. But he had never flown before, and honestly, the thought made him a little anxious. Train seemed more reliable. Problem was, the last high-speed train had already departed for the day. The earliest next ride wouldn't be until 5 a.m. the next morning. As for flights, same issue. No more flights until dawn. No private jet either. He couldn't just fly out whenever he wanted. Whether by train or plane, he'd have to wait until tomorrow. Meanwhile, Yao Qingdan was absolutely awestruck by the bustling nightlife of Shanghai. Even at 11 p.m., the streets were full of people. Towering skyscrapers lit up the sky with neon lights. Compared to this, Duntian New City really was just a small place. The next morning, Qin Yuan took her to Disneyland. They played together for hours. To her surprise, being with Qin Yuan was actually far more fun than anything she'd experienced back in Yaowang Valley. There was a kind of sweet, joyful energy that she didn't want to leave. Yao Qingdan, favorability plus 10. Yao Qingdan, favorability plus 10. Current favorability, 70. Why does my heart beat faster whenever I'm with Qin Yuan? Why do I blush when he looks at me? I even want to take off this black face paint and show him my real face. Maybe he'd like me more if he saw the real me. No, what am I thinking? Even if Master Ancestor doesn't try to kill him, he'd never allow us to be together. If I go back to Yawang Valley, I might never be able to leave again. That thought made her feel a little sad. A part of her didn't want to go back anymore. Time flew by. By 1 p.m., her phone buzzed again. Qingtan, I've arrived in Shanghai. Just got off the train. Where are you? I'll come rescue you immediately. Master Ancestor, I'm at Modu Disneyland. Good. Stay put. I'm coming now. She slipped into the ladies' room and quickly messaged her master, thinking she could avoid Qin Yuan's notice. What she didn't know was, Qin Yuan had been monitoring their conversation the whole time. TSK. So the old man finally made it to Shanghai, huh? Think you can steal my girl? In your dreams. Just as she walked out of the restroom, Qin Yuan grabbed her wrist. Come on. Fun time's over. We've got some business to handle. Boss, where are we going now? Fusong. Huh? She was dumbfounded. Fusong? That's overseas. But boss, I don't even have a passport. I heard you need visas and everything to travel abroad. I haven't prepared anything. Don't worry. I've already arranged it all for you. We're leaving right now. Qingtan was speechless. Master Ancestor just got to Shanghai, and now we're leaving again? I need to tell him. He'll miss us if he heads to Disneyland, and we're already gone. Even though part of her didn't want to go back, she could never bring herself to lie to Xiantian Yaozu. Right before getting in the car, she managed to send one last message. Master Ancestor, Qin Yuan is heading to Fusong. Xiantian Yaozu froze. Damn it, that cunning little rat really wants to take her abroad? Without a passport or documents, I'd never be able to follow them. Wait a minute. If he's going overseas, he'll have to go through the airport. I'll wait for him there, a rabbit at the ready by the tree. He immediately turned around and rushed toward the airport. But Qin Yuan's car wasn't headed to the airport at all. Instead, it rolled right up to Shanghai port, where a massive, luxurious cruise ship was already docked and waiting. It was Qin Yuan's private cruise liner. Captain Wu Qinggong was already aboard with a group of high-end passengers. Boss, aren't we going to Fusong? Why are we at the dock? Who says we have to fly? Cruises are way more comfortable. This ship's one of the world's top 10 cruise liners. Cost me 10 billion last year, and I've barely used it. So now's the perfect time. What? Once again, Yao Qingtan was left completely stunned. That's it for today's chapter recap. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest manga, manhwa, and manhwa recaps. Got thoughts on today's chapter? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on the story. Also, if you know other fans who were reading this manhwa but stopped because it got axed, share this video with them. The more support we get, the more motivation we'll have to keep making these videos. See you in the next one. Until then, keep turning the pages.